Hi guys, this is going to be part 1 on how to make a top-down movement game in the console using Python. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to print the board and creating the kind of playing field for the player. So as you can see here, I have just a simple main.py script, and in this script, all I'm doing is importing the module OS, and we have 3 functions which are currently empty. So I'm going to go ahead and create the board first. So I'm going to create like a list to create the board. So I'm going to say board equals these brackets, and we're going to put in the quotation marks because they're going to be empty and a space. So I'm going to say for A in range 12 because the board is going to be 12 by 12. For B in range 12. So it's going to be like an X and Y kind of coordinates. So it's like it makes the board easier and the movements easier, like a kind of like a graph like that in that sense. So now I'm going to move on to creating environment, which is going to create all the walls, the outer walls for the environment. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to say for A in range 12, this is going to be the top and bottom walls. So I'm going to write here board 0 and the brackets again, and then pass in A inside. So it's going to loop in 12 times, and this value A is going to keep changing. So it's going to be 0 all the way until 12, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're going to equate it to this dash, kind of this like this dash thing. And we want to repeat it also as well, because this is only for the top, because coordinates and A is going to go along to print this. So I'm going to write it for the bottom as well. So board 11, we're going to say, and then pass in A as well, and then equate it to the dash. Now we're going to do it as well for the sides. So I'm just going to say f equals 1, and say I'm going to say wow, f is less than 11. We're going to put board f 0 equals to this thing. It's on the keyboard actually. I can't really explain what it is. It's just like a vertical kind of line, and we're going to do it for the for the right side as well. So we're going to say pass in here 11 f, and here 11, and we're going to do the same thing, and up here, yep, correct this error, and we have to add f plus equals 1 because it's like a while loop, so we have to increase variable f so we can continue to loop through the loop. So now I'm going to proceed to print board, because we obviously have to print the board, not how we're going to see the board, right? So I'm going to get rid of pass, and it's really simple. So I'm just going to, it's a for loop basically, which will print out the entire board. So I'm going to put for count in board. We're going to print quotation, open and close quotation marks with a space inside of them, and it's very important to include the space for later on references. Then we'll put join, which will kind of if I'm not mistaken, kind of string them all together, so they make them into one string, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what it does. And I'm going to put in count. I'm going to pass in count. So, and the last thing I'm going to do is the clear console function, which we won't be using today, but I would rather get it done now so we can implement it later on. So what the clear console function does, it just basically clears the console. There's nothing much else it does. It's just like for kind of aesthetic purposes. So the code I'm about to write, it works on Windows if I'm not mistaken, but for Mac and Linux, it's a different one. Let me write it down first. So it's os dot system, and I'm gonna pass in these quotation marks, only one of them, right? And I'm gonna type in CLS. So if I'm not mistaken, for Mac and Linux, I think it's clear, so it's gonna be like that. but you're gonna have to check it. So, but for Windows, this definitely works, CLS, and that's about it. So now we're gonna test it out. So I'm gonna just run the program. So there we go. As you can see, we can see the board being printed out. We can see the walls being printed out, and yeah, that's pretty much that's about it. So yeah, that's about it. So stay tuned for the next video. Part 2 will be released shortly. I will be uploading this file to my GitHub page if you want to follow along. Link in the description. Until the next video, cheers.